Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Wednesday edition of Source 16 News. I'm Eddie Owen. Thanks for joining us. Well, the potential for major to catastrophic flooding is becoming more of a reality after 6 to 15 inches of rain has reportedly fallen since last Friday across western Kentucky. At 1:20 today, the National Weather Service reported that in Gracie there was 4 feet of water covering the main street, making it impassable. Many subdivisions and other areas of Hopkinsville and Christian County are underwater due to the extremely heavy rainfall over the past few days. And several roads in the city and county are closed due to flooding. Christian County Emergency Management Director Randy Graham is urging residents to exercise caution due to the flash flooding. He says high water over roadways can be encountered in areas that are problematic during heavy rain events. But due to the current saturation levels of the ground, high water is also in areas that are not usually flooded. The Transportation Department is reporting numerous road closures in Christian, Caldwell, Fulton, Graves, Hopkins, Lyon, Marshall, and Trigg counties. Now, as of this morning, the Transportation Operations Center had reports of more than 150 road closures in about 50 counties. Officials stress motorists to stop and turn around when they encounter a flooded roadway. It only takes 6 inches of moving water to sweep a person off their feet and 2 feet of rushing water to sweep away a full-sized SUV. Now, meteorologist David Bryant will have more on what we can expect over the next 24 hours. That's coming up in just a few moments. Meanwhile, the flooding problems caused Christian County schools and Clarksville-Montgomery County schools to dismiss students early today, and classes at Hopkins County schools were canceled. Extreme rainfall and rising lake levels are expected to impact the land between the lakes area. The Tennessee Valley Authority and the Corps of Engineers are predicting lake levels for Lake Barkley and Kentucky Lake to increase to 371 feet. Now, the current lake level is at 250 feet, and TVA officials say rising lake levels will greatly impact boat ramps, campsites, trails, and roads within LBL. Park officials are warning visitors to use caution when using trails, roads, camping areas, boat ramps, creeks, and streams. And they're encouraging visitors to call 270-924-2000 for current information and details about storm damage at the state park. Severe storms that moved across the area the past couple of days have caused some structural damage at the local Army post. Fort Campbell spokesman Rick Zepka told Source 16 that the Department of Public Works has been assessing the damage on post. Zepka did confirm there was some structural and equipment damage and that the damages did not affect operations, training, or flights bringing troops home from Afghanistan. Source 16 has received reports that 2 160th hangars were destroyed and 2 helicopters, a Chinook and Black Hawk, were damaged. But Zepka could not confirm these reports because the assessment has not been completed and he has not reviewed it. Fortunately, according to Zepka, there were no injuries reported. Well, Governor Steve Beshear and Kentucky's emergency management team are continuing to closely watch the severe storm system moving across Kentucky today. Weather officials are investigating reports of possible tornadoes and wind damages in several areas across the state. Possible tornado touchdowns have been reported in Cumberland, Hopkins, Grayson, and Hardin counties. And damages to homes and businesses have been reported in Clarkson in Grayson County and Glendale in Hardin County. Luckily, no injuries or fatalities have been reported. Now, on Monday, Beshear declared a state of emergency to allow local officials immediate access to state resources to assist in public safety and recovery efforts. Since the storms moved in late last week, 25 counties, including Ballard, Callaway, Carlisle, Crittenden, Fulton, Hickman, Livingston, Marion, Marshall, Trigg, and Webster counties, and 11 cities, including Bardwell, Benton, Cadiz, Calvert, and Hardin, have declared local disasters. The Kentucky National Guard has deployed 83 guardsmen to assist in water barrier and sandbagging efforts in Livingston, Ballard, and Henderson counties. More guardsmen will be deployed as needed. State officials are also remaining in close contact with the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers as they monitor the levels of the Ohio and Mississippi rivers. Meanwhile, Governor Beshear has issued a consumer protection executive order activating a price gouging statute. At the request of Attorney General Jack Conway, the governor signed the executive order that will allow for the investigation into any complaints of price gouging that may occur relative to gas, building supplies, hotels, and other goods and services in the aftermath of the storms. Beshear activated the same price gouging statutes after earlier disasters, including Hurricane Ike in September 2008, the January 2009 ice storm, and severe weather storms in December 2009. Now, after Hurricane Ike, the Attorney General fined several gas retailers $100,000 for violating the price gouging statute. A Trenton teen charged with the murder of his 9-year-old adoptive sister appeared in Todd County Circuit Court again. Early this morning, 17-year-old Garrett Dye stood quietly next to his attorney, Dennis Ritchie of Hopkinsville, for Dye's pretrial conference, where Judge Tyler Gill scheduled a May 23rd change of venue review. As previously reported, Ritchie says his client cannot get a fair trial in his home county, since Todd County residents already know too much about the case. The 17-year-old teen is charged with murder and tampering with physical evidence for allegedly murdering his 9-year-old adoptive sister and biological cousin, Amy Dye of Trenton, by allegedly hitting her on the head with a hydraulic jack handle. Garrett Dye's murder trial is scheduled for July 25th. He is scheduled to have a mental evaluation tomorrow at the Kentucky Correctional Psychiatric Center. Well, the Marshall County Crime Stoppers Unit is asking for the public's help in locating individuals believed to have stolen 2 all-terrain vehicles from Newton's Outdoor Power Equipment in Draffinville last month. On March 18th, Marshall County officials say the 2 males arrived in a late 80s to early 90s green Chevy full-size van and then walked around the business and took photos with the cell phones and checked the ATVs for keys and even tried to start some of them. After being there for about 9 minutes, police say the suspects walked back to their van and left the parking lot. But businesses' security cameras in the area showed the van turned on a street down from Newton's where the rear of the business can be seen and then left the area. Later that night, police say 3 males appeared on surveillance footage approaching the rear of the business, and one of the males used a large set of bolt cutters to cut through a chain link fence. According to police, the men tried to steal 4 ATVs, but only got away with 2 of them, a 2011 Polaris Sportsman 4-wheeler and a 2011 Polaris RZR Ranger valued at over $21,000. Police also believe the suspects may be responsible for stealing a 2011 White Freedom 6x10 enclosed trailer that was reported stolen in the area around the same time. Now, if you recognize any of the individuals shown in these pictures, Newton's Outdoor Power Equipment is offering a reward that leads to their arrest and/or discovery of the stolen items. And Marshall County Crime Stoppers will also pay up to $1,000 for information leading to an arrest. Reports of more programs offered by the West Kentucky Workforce Investment Board are being affected due to a lack of federal funding. With more on this story, here's Michelle Herron.
This time, directors are saying youth programs will take a hit when Congress finishes working on the remaining and next fiscal year budgets.
It could either cut some of the programs completely, it could cut them to a point where they have to cut the number of students that they enroll. It could affect whole programs completely, depending on how deep the cuts are. We know the 12% cut, but in addition to that, if we fall at the bottom of the ranking because of our unemployment rate, then we could be cut so significantly we might not even be able to carry on programs.
Directors say government officials are cutting multiple programs that serve low-income individuals, including ones designed for in-house students.
They actually help students who are low income, who have barriers to actually completing their education, who might need help with resumes, job search, making sure they actually graduate, and then they also offer them work experience.
WKWIB funds youth programs with the Christian and Graves County Boards of Education, Hopkinsville and Madisonville Community Colleges, and West Kentucky Educational Co-op that serves 6 counties, including Fulton, Graves, and Callaway counties. Michelle Herron, Source 16 News.
These programs operate on a fiscal year calendar, with current programs scheduled to end on June 30th, the next to begin July 1st. Well, 3rd District State Senator Joey Pendleton has been appointed to the Legislative Task Force on Childhood Obesity. State officials say obesity is a growing problem in the Commonwealth, one that is of grave concern to the senator. Pendleton of Hopkinsville said that Kentucky has the 5th highest level of adult obesity, with 69% of adults overweight or obese, the highest level of overweight high school students, and the 3rd highest overweight levels for low-income children ages 2 to 5 years. Senator Pendleton, a member of the Senate Health and Welfare Committee, says he is extremely concerned about the health problems these children will have as a result of being overweight. The task force, established in 2011, is charged with studying issues relating to childhood obesity and will develop a strategy to recommend to the General Assembly that addresses the problem and encourages healthy eating and increased physical activity among children. If you have unused or expired medications lying around your medicine cabinet, the Drug Enforcement Agency is holding the 2nd National Prescription Drug Take-Back Day this Saturday to properly dispose of them. Citizens are encouraged to take advantage of this opportunity to rid their home of expired or unwanted prescription medications. The initiative is free and anonymous, and no request for identification will be made to anyone bringing medications. 2 Kentucky State Police posts are partnering with the DEA and will be collecting medication this Saturday from 10 a.m. through 2 p.m. at KSP Post 1, located on U.S. Highway 45 between Mayfield and Paducah, and Post 2 in Madisonville, located on the Western Kentucky Parkway. There will also be collection sites at Fort Campbell in the Post Exchange parking lot and the Town Center Pharmacy parking lot during the same hours. Fulton police are also participating in the national effort. Officers will be in front of Evans Drug Store from 10 a.m. until 1 p.m. collecting unused medication. Intravenous solutions, injectables, and syringes will not be accepted. Neither will illicit substances such as marijuana or methamphetamine. Well, tonight's Powerball jackpot is $20 million. Friday's Mega Millions jackpot is $40 million.